In Central Florida, a shocking plea change alters the course of justice.
And then next week, he was scheduled to go on trial for sexual battery and possessing explicit photos of that underage girl. Well, now on the eve of that trial, this was supposed to start on Tuesday with jury selection. On Monday afternoon, Stephan Sterns' attorney says, we're going to be in court, Judge, and they're telling the prosecutors this. And according to these paperwork, it's going to be a plea. So it is looking like Stephan Sterns may be changing his plea in this case that all of Central Florida has been captivated by, horrified by, since 13-year-old Madeline Soto first vanished when her mother's former boyfriend claimed that he dropped her off at Hunters Creek Middle School a little more than a year ago. There was a...
Yeah, this is a little more than a year ago. You guys remember Maddie Soto was missing the same day that Sebastian Rogers, and everything just came down to the line. But Maddie's body was found, or they actually saw Maddie. They knew she was no longer alive on those cameras, which again, that stuff is what's going to come out at court. I do not want the taking of Maddie's life, though, guys. I did not want that to go to a plea. But if what happens is justice for Maddie, then that's what it's going to be. There's 420 people in chat, guys. I love you. Thank you for being here. Hippie Chick says, I care about this case the most of any discussed on YouTube. All right, let's continue. There's more. Stephan would be set free in Alligator Lake with a weight on his ankles. Yeah, this is deep here. This is deep because what's going to happen with Jenn Soto now? And did Jenn Soto sign off on the plea deal? She is technically a victim, folks. Do you think? Put a 1 in chat if you think Jenn Soto is a victim. There are people that think that. Put a 2 if you think that she's part of it.
Search for her, that the community was all out looking for this missing teen. Sadly, investigators later found her body in a wooded area of St. Cloud. Investigators, through tons of detective work, found significant evidence that they say proved that Stephan Sterns was the one who murdered her after he minded her for years. Now, Sterns is going to be in court on Monday, apparently with a plea change, and News 6 will be there streaming that court hearing live. For now, we are live in the newsroom. Mike DeForest, News 6. Back to you, Jen.
You know what's interesting about what I just heard? They literally, I agree with that. She's no victim. To definitely set her daughter up. Okay, she's no victim, but what he just said is interesting to hear. Let me listen to that last part again. Hold on 1 second.
All right. News 6 will be there streaming that court hearing live. For now, we are live in the newsroom. Mike DeForest, News 6. Back to you.
I missed something. Hold on. He said something that I wanted to...
Investigators later found her body in a wooded area of St. Cloud. Investigators, through tons of detective work, found significant evidence that they say proved that Stephan Sterns was the one who murdered after raping her for years. And now Sterns is going to be in court on Monday, apparently with a plea change.
Okay, a plea change. That's what I wanted to hear. He has a plea change, which is interesting, guys, because a plea change, when we hear a plea change, we hear, oh, Stephan's the only plea change there is either guilty or not guilty. He's already pled to not guilty. So what do you guys think of that now? What if Stephan goes in there and we've already heard there's a plea change? There's only one plea change it could be, either guilty or not. And he pled not guilty. So a plea change means that he's going to go to a guilty plea. How are you guys feeling about this now? And I see you, Amy. You don't think Jenn Soto had anything to do with this. So how does it happen? Not guilty by TBI? No, that's not even an option, Jennifer B. It's either not guilty, which he already pled, or guilty. This man just said he's going to change his plea deal. So now we already hear it. We heard it. And how could we look back on that? How could we not think the other way? If he goes to trial now on this and we hear him going to take a plea, what difference I don't get it. So you're betting an Alford plea. All right. Yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't make sense. Linda Glover says Jenn is not a victim. She could have protected her child. She was right there in bed. You think she waited to be sent upstairs to abuse Maddie? I don't think so. Jay just drugged up and ignore it. Damn, man. Damn, this is this is game changing for everything if that's what happens. All right, there's a whole nother one too. I just popped up. All right, let's take a look. All of these things are getting ready for Stephan to be in the court on Monday.
The case of a man accused of killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto is expected back in court. Stephan Sterns' trial is set to begin next week. Tomorrow's hearing will focus on two motions. One includes the defendant's motion to appear in court without handcuffs or other physical restraints. Soto was reported missing last year after she did not show up for school at Hunters Creek Middle. Her body was later discovered on the side of the road in Osceola County. Kissimmee police say her mom's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, killed her. Investigators say they found photographs and videos on Sterns' cell phone showing him sexually abusing Soto for years.
All right, so all of those pictures showing him being abusive for years. I mean, what do you think about that? So the people that just came in right now, whoever just came in, you came in
is on two.
You came in at a good time. Stephan Sterns' plea hearing for CSAM abuse and materials coming on Monday, Jody. Now, the trial for the CSAM was supposed to happen on the next week on the 22nd. Juries would be picked. The jury would be picked by the 25th. All right. And hold on, I'm getting a budget and I'm done. I'm doing a juggling act here, guys. All right, so the Woody Allen comment really shed a light on her knowledge and participation. Yeah, I think most of you guys, Jenn can't live with herself. That's why she gets high on her meds every day. But what about her? She doesn't. What about all the witnesses? Where's Thomas Karras? Thomas Karras was set to go to trial, to go to the Capitol trial. Okay, he was set to go to the Capitol Red Rum trial and testify that he saw Stephan near the Maddie's dump site. So what about him? What about Jenn? What about all of that? That doesn't make any sense. Now what's going to happen? All right, hold on. One more. Wait up, one more. All right, let's do one more. This is just coming out. Sterns won't make it in general population. I don't think he's going to be in general pop ever, but let's take a look at this. So for those of you that just rolled in late and you said, what is happening, Jay? Here we go. Let's take a look at this. It just keeps coming, guys. It keeps coming. And I think that the plea deal is probably going to happen, guys. So many people don't believe Jenn knew, and they think Jenn walks. Well, she doesn't have to go anywhere. She's not subpoenaed if there are no trials, guys. Jenn Soto, what happens? I think she's pushing for a plea deal. I think the prosecution asked her, is it okay to have a plea deal? Because what other family has a say so? Ruth, hello, my friend. Sin, thank you so much for the 5 guilty of crime memberships. I did think it would. I didn't want to come on here and be like, I told you so. I never want to say that. And I didn't want this to happen in the Capitol case. He may have to tell the truth about Jenn's involvement. All right. In the plea deal, I'm wondering if the prosecutor will ask if Jenn was in it. If we're looking at, let's listen to this. If you guys just came in, let's listen to this real quick.
Was in court this morning for what could be his last hearing before he does go on trial.
And Stephan Sterns is accused of abusing Madeline Soto for years and killing her the day after
It's nice,
her
Alice.
birthday party. As West 2's Bob Hazen reports, a judge made rulings today on what Sterns will be allowed to do during the trial.
That trial.
So all of this stuff is just, it didn't even matter. It's just a waste of court money, taxpayers, all that. Maddie had no choice in her life. Why should he? I agree. It sounds like they're approaching. The defense is approaching the state, and they want a plea deal, right? I'm behind, but go Leos. Yes, happy Leo month. Happy birthday to all the Leos, all the Cancers. Shit, do either one of them know how to tell the truth? No. All right, let's see. I wonder what's going to happen to Jenn now.
Trial is set to start next
That's
week,
it.
and we now know that Stephan Sterns will have to wear a leg brace to keep him from running away. And the judge also raised the possibility of having to close the courtroom at certain times.
No.
You could hear the shackles clanking as Stephan Sterns walked into court this morning, but when a jury sees him next week, those cuffs will be off. A court deputy testified today about the other options to keep him under control, including a stun cuff they could use to shock him if he tried to run, or a leg brace.
I would say rather a bit more cumbersome because it's strapped alongside the leg of the person, and if they stretch their leg, it'll snap shut.
The judge ruled Sterns will have to wear that brace. He'll also be able to use a felt pin, despite concerns that it could be used as a weapon. Sterns is facing 2 separate criminal cases, one for allegedly murdering 13-year-old Madeline Soto, who was the daughter of his girlfriend. The other is for 60 charges that he raped Maddie Soto, and recorded video of it on his phone. The trial for that sexual abuse case set to start.
Why do they have to do that? We want people to know that he's taking a plea deal, and they put those words in there. And all right, we know, and you know it sucks like that because that's what happened to her, and a lot of people are triggered by it. But I think a lot of us saw this coming, guys, and I think this is absolutely a great discussion. We want justice for Maddie. This was happening. These discussions and the whispers were happening last week, and we're gonna talk about is a deal in the works and why we think that and what we think is going to happen with both, because I do want to try to predict it a little bit about what's going to happen with everything now that I have the information to give you a more educated guess. I'm thankful for that.
Next Tuesday, prosecutors warned the court that they will be showing those disturbing images and playing those videos for the jury, and they'll use a TV or a whiteboard to do so.
The state intends to utilize the whiteboard in an effort to prevent other individuals that do not need to see that evidence.
The judge also said it is possible they might need to clear the public from the court when those videos are played, but did not make a ruling on.
Yeah, that's the CSAM stuff.